All right, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. We jump into the Nasdaq and we're looking here on the day, and you can see you're coming back in this major level, 20,500. Goes all the way back to June 14th, give or take. And you can see this has developed to become one of the biggest resistances across the board. You go to the 4-hour, you can really see it a little bit better there as well. Clearly rejecting down here. Not really what you want to see. Let me turn this off down here as well. But you can really see how you're rejecting off that level coming into today. And really for the bulk of today, I mean, all day long we reject here for what seems like hours on end. We could get a close near the end of the market, but it's not looking likely right now. Now, a few things that we'll point out though is you're basically making higher lows since Wednesday, which you would like to see there so far. You can see clearly how that's, playing out here, making those higher lows. As you can see there, you go into ES, you're seeing the higher lows since Wednesday. You're holding off of these previous highs as well. You had a little break and retest, a little bit of a trap down there, but still holding up. And then you're also holding Wednesday's highs. Again, I'm pointing this out on Twitter. If you don't follow, you can see it there as well. You can see today on your dip, that's where you're holding from. Again, clearly your Wednesday highs right there. So again, you're finding buyers there. And, ES is very close to all-time highs. You look at SPY as well. You're basically trending here at highs. Right now, again, you're ending this week probably one of your most bullish ends of the week that you've had in, weeks, months, whatever you want to say. I mean, pretty phenomenal, all things considered. As we clean this up, it's clear as day. You have an ascending triangle kind of forming out here. Higher lows, clear as day, going back all the way to October 8th plus, going all the way really back to October 3rd, beginning of October, clear as day there. So what you're looking at going into this coming week is that break, retest, and continuation here on the S&P. Try to get that push into 600. Now, this week, there's a lot we have going on here. Okay, number one, earnings coming up. We had Netflix, we had TSM, and those really propelled the market. You can see how, and we'll go into that here in a second. But this coming week, biggest earnings that I'm really watching, my personal opinion. Okay, you have some RTX, some Dow names in here. Dow's been strong. We'll go into that here in a sec. But you have, again, LRCX, Tesla, IBM. Those are going to be your big boys. You have QuantumScape, a little bit of a big name, not too big. But those are going to be your big ones on Wednesday. You have a few others going throughout the week, but in my opinion, this is Wednesday's the only real day you care too much about. You have TXN, Texas Instruments as well, semiconductor name. Those are my top ones. Bada bing, bada boom. Tuesday after close, Wednesday after close. That's about it. We'll have more ramping up into next week as well. More of the big names, Microsoft, Apple, etc., Google. So we'll go into those as those come. But again, that's where we're at right now. And so that's really what we're looking at here on SPY is the potential for that break and retest and continuation. Now, I want to highlight a few things here, right? Some of the sectors that have been really carrying us. And I don't want to overshadow Dow because Dow has been the hottest area of the market, sitting at all-time highs as well, bouncing back crazy here on the day. But I'm going to just go over a few sectors here, okay? Now, the sectors that you really want to see continuation on to get the breakout on the Nasdaq and the S&P. SMH. So SMH last week, you closed about 256. We had a great day going into Monday from Friday to Monday. Awesome. You had the big sell-off, right? We talked about what happened there with the NVIDIA scare, and then NVIDIA bought right back up. We'll go into that here in a sec, right? And then TSM report, you got back up, and now we're kind of rejecting at 256. So what you're looking at on SMH for continuation is clear as day, back above 256. Above 256, you're very bullish on semis, okay? But again, there's just resistance there. And this is the one red flag on the day is that you're still seeing lower highs being put in since yesterday, okay? That's the worrisome part. You are not making higher highs. You are in a downtrend since essentially Thursday, Thursday around 1 o'clock, give or take, right? So that's where we're at, and that's kind of how we're trending. Have a gap fill down near 249.88. Okay, broad market there. We look at, XLK. I'll go into some specific stocks here in a second. XLK, you're bouncing where you needed to on XLK. Let's talk about this. XLK's big level was back here at 227. I would consider this the equivalent to 256 on SMH, okay? You had the dip with SMH when you dipped down, I believe, on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day that was, right? But you bounced very strong here on XLK. SMH lost it, didn't come back. You're trying to get back above 232. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get there. You have good names, though. Like you have names in XLK that are performing very well. Okay, big thing there. Now, when it goes to Dow, your big sector here has been XLF banks. And, banks have been on the big breakout. As you can see here, $44, $45, the big breakout. Good continuation, what you wanted to see. And you can't be, in my opinion, you just can't be unhappy with the movement that you're getting. Now, if we get the continuation on SMH, we get the continuation on XLK, I think we could explode across the board. Now, one step further, we look at IWM. again, this is another very interesting part of the puzzle here that you're seeing here, right? Higher lows across the board, trying to mount your resistance here to 225, 226, trying to stay above that. Looks really good. That's why you're seeing names in the smaller cap, right? Not Nasdaq yet. Reddit, all-time highs. We talked a lot about this one a while back. Kava, Chipotle might actually be in Nasdaq or S&P 500, but still, you're seeing these names that we really like. Upstart, right? I'm trying to think of more. Affirm, the big one that I liked a lot. Even Robinhood moving up very well. So all these names, mid caps that we've liked over the past year, are really performing here, right? They're not really pulling back, right? I mean, I would encourage a pullback. I would love to see a pullback, but you're just not seeing that action right now. So again, as you look at the market, the only thing that here looks worrisome here is the Nasdaq at 20,500. Above this, I think we're clear skies. We're moving strong, and it's just earnings after that. And I'll tell you though, going to some of these earnings, I'm excited. Okay. Now I will say this coming week, I don't think Tesla has the greatest earnings, personal opinion, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Right. I'm not really doing too much Tesla trading until we start breaking down. Okay. I've said that a lot as well. And I don't think earnings are going to be fantastic, like I just said. Okay. But going into not this week, but next week, Microsoft earnings. Microsoft's been very lackluster, nowhere near its all-time highs, right? Yeah, roughly, give or take, 15, 17% back into all-time highs, right? Google, it's at 163. All-time highs are at 192, okay? Meta's damn near its all-time highs. We're not going to speak on that one too much, right? Apple's back at its all-time highs basically right here. Made an all-time high here on the week. But all in all, a lot of these names, CrowdStrike, right? Back down here into the 200 SMA has, over $100 back in all-time highs basically. These are this is the interesting part here because earnings can play a very big impact to get these back to where they need to be. And that's what has me excited going into this earnings season is because, you have a name like Netflix that's almost at its all-time highs yesterday. I mean, you had a pullback, but near its all-time highs, 20, 30 points off, has earnings and then gaps up almost, $75 and continues to push and rally even despite some of the weakness on the day, right? So going to these earnings, I think it puts you in a really good position to where you actually have continuation likelihood. The past few earnings that we've seen just continuation and then we go into earnings and it's just it's already moving so good. Earnings have to perform incredible to really get us going. So those are things to be looking out for. But the other part here is all the Dow names in here, RTX, Lockheed Martin, 3M, all these other names, IBM, this could really propel Dow as well. Dow is moving, but it's moving heavily because of XLF Financials, which just reported and broke out, we just covered, and then XLI, which is moving pretty good as well, right? Those are your top sectors in Dow. Now you get the other sectors moving there, and again, it's like we talked about. You're going to get it moving like a clean engine, right? Full steam ahead. And that's what you like to see there as well. So right now, there's no real notion of, okay, I'm bearish, I'm looking for downside. It doesn't make any sense, right? Still, even on SPY, you're making higher lows, higher highs, bullish. And right, until at least we break below 582, maybe we can talk about some downside. To really get bearish, I need to see us back below 575. But again, we'll talk about that when that time comes. We're just not there yet. But again, we're just trending in the ascending triangle. That's how the action is performing right now. It's OPEX day. You might get some crazy volume, some, a little bit of volatility near the end of the day. But as of right now, I'm just kind of sitting on the brakes, being patient. And I want to highlight one more thing though, guys. Again, there's the Discord link is going to be down below. And if you're interested as well, it'll be on Twitter so you guys can check it out. I want to make sure that's abundantly clear. The link is down there. It'll be open for I don't know how long. Take advantage while you can. But I do want to say something right now. This week, Jay has been destroying it in Discord. He traded NVIDIA like crazy. But there's going to be times when, I think even this week, we had some really good setups, really good expectations of what I wanted to see from SPY and off these levels. But sometimes you're just not going to execute to the best of your ability. And this channel is about being totally transparent as well. Talk about the good, talk about the bad, right? Past 3 months have been really good for myself personally, right? But this week, you just haven't seen the continuation on Nasdaq to the upside or to the downside. You've kind of just been sitting in this tight range. And so it's just, for me, it was a bunch of in and out stops, right? Not my best week of trading, right? Jay really did carry. Shout out to Jay for carrying with NVIDIA. But again, understand you're going to have these types of periods, but you have to understand why you're missing, why you're losing, guys. Make sure you're journaling. Make sure you're taking notes. And understand that this isn't just you wake up every day, you blindly guess at a few stocks. If you do that, you're going to lose money consistently. You'll be a great, consistent loser, I promise, right? If you can't identify what's the problem and understand how you can get away from that problem and fix those issues, I promise you're going to lose money. No Discord, no person will save you. So understand that. Being able to identify, I need to take a step back. I need to wait for a breakout. I need to wait for continuation. I need to wait for a better opportunity. That's what you have to do, right? So again, my personal opinion, do what you got to do. Discord link, everything down below. Have a good one. I'll see you either on Sunday, maybe tomorrow. Have a good one, traders.